I think it's really possible for us to just really have conversations. I feel like we show that.
And the people that watch the clip, I hope they come and listen to the actual entire interview to see what the full spectrum of the conversation was.
And if you don't, to be honest, I feel like everybody gonna form their opinion at the end of the day. And that's all your prerogative. Keep doing you. If you got time to comment, enjoy.
What going on, guys?
So what?
It's me, HadieLeonie.
And it's your girl, JojoRenée. And you are tuned into episode 31 of Bite the Bullet podcast.
31.
We back in at the studio.
It's already been 10 episodes since 21, which is crazy.
21.
But
no, that is crazy. Because I felt like yesterday we were saying 21.
Exactly. But
we here
a while ago. What was it? I don't know. How are you feeling?
I ain't gonna lie, guys. I'm recovering from a little fever, and she just hit me a little bit. But it was like a day fever. But I catch it on my sister's birthday. But I think it was from like stress and planning and all of that fun stuff. You know, when your body to just be like, nope, we're not doing this. Yeah, but I feeling better now. I bracing. I have that little throat. But how are you?
I good.
You're great.
I'm great.
I come down the stairs to open the door for Hadie. I see Hadie there checking like, who am I?
Also, like when the weather just like this, it's just to make you feel so much better. I feeling like, summer vibes.
I feel like all you can tell by our outfits, the weather is weathering.
The weather is weathering.
Yeah.
And I was sick. I feel like I finally
recover.
Because I don't know what's going on with like when you get sick nowadays, it does really linger on. Like I was still coughing up cold for a while.
And everybody in the mother coughing. Exactly. That's the thing. Like everybody I talk to, they catching a cough or they throat, they voice gone or something like that. But we here. Oh, I'm back from Austria. Did I tell you about Austria?
No. Well, I heard hints the other night, but
yeah. So guys, I went to Austria. It was honestly, I felt okay. So let me give a background story for why Hadie just said Australia. So, I know you have homeroom. But not everybody. But homeroom is basically the class before all your classes for the day in school. And we was talking about Hitler because I don't know if y'all had it, but they shoved Hitler down our throats.
I think every
class was about the World War. And I hear it, but it was a bit much. But we was like going over what we learned for the week or whatever. And then my teacher was like, and did you guys know Hitler's not from Germany? I was like, yeah, he's from Australia. And everybody watching, mind you, I said that with my chest. And then she was like, no, he's from Austria. I was like, yeah, Australia. Because I deadass thought Austria was a nickname for Australia. People were checking like, we ain't got time to say Australia. So we're going to say Austria. Yeah, I thought Hitler was from Austria for like 13 years of my life because I was 13 when I found out.
I think for me, because I learned it in Dutch, it was hard for me to make that mistake.
Makes sense. Oostenrijk.
Yeah. But you went out.
I went to, and I'm not the only one. They had mugs in Australia saying we don't have kangaroos here. I'm not the only one, guys. So.
People don't think it's Australia, probably.
But anyways, Austria, phenomenal. I felt like I was in a Bob Ross painting. It was, oh my goodness. I woke up to mountains and snow and it was truly amazing. And we went skiing and I fell twice. I was proud of myself for that.
Like roll over falling?
No, just like a little poop. I'll show you the video. Just a poop.
Okay.
Yeah, the getting up part was the harder part, but all in all, I would definitely go there again, but with my friends, because I went with family. This time I'll go with friends and ski drunk. I think that would be lit. But the only thing about Austria, I almost said Australia. is very white. But I mean, we in Europe, so it makes sense. But it had moments on the trip where we was like,
this ain't your vibe.
Like when we went to the pool, it was extremely uncomfortable. Like we literally went up and we left one time because people really watch you. And my father black. So for him, he was also like, guys, this ain't my same self. He really watched us. He said, why are you make me come up here? Because we was like, let's do family stuff together. And he was like, no. Like, I want to go back to the hotel room.
I feel that.
Yeah.
But you see, that's the thing with like a lot of people on TikTok and Twitter now, specific places whenever people post like, hey guys, this is a really nice place to go to, and then they'll be like, but is it our
really
people
though?
like, but then somebody else will comment, and I feel like that's so important. But I don't know, I feel like if you go for a specific ski trip, you should.
Plus, if you were family and if you were a group of people, I say patient. But you ain't seen Nella Rose and them also had a problem. They went to a hotel.
That was in France, a spa thing.
Yeah, they went to a spa resort in France, and their friends are Muslims, so they had the hijab bathing suits, but it's a bathing suit at the end of the day, and they didn't let them swim. And then on top of that, they kicked them out.
That's
you know how crazy that is.
That's crazy. And some of you just think it's 2024, shit getting better, and then these things just come out.
A lot of people still stuck. I mean, Austria is the birthplace of Hitler, so what can you truly expect?
That is true.
Yeah, but it was late though. I still advise y'all, if y'all want to go Austria,
to go. It's late. Austria. I'll run you for friends too though.
Yeah. We can get drunk.
Okay. But yeah, so since the last time we've been on this couch, Judy, the people have been coming for us.
Wow.
They've been coming for us.
I hope all the people that are coming for us is right here in this episode right now. Because y'all are wild. I think this is the first. Let's really unpack this.
Okay.
Firstly,
I think we need to explain why they're coming for us. If you don't be on our IG and you really just follow us, our episodes and stuff like that.
We basically have a reel out, because we also post reels on YouTube and stuff, and we have a reel out basically talking about what we spoke on last episode, where we was mentioning how the man them ain't really pulling up on the girls them, but it was confusing to quite a bit of people, because we talk about how we used to get annoyed when man them touch us, but now we annoyed because they're not touching us. But my thing is, I explicitly said y'all need to just find a balance, because the level of annoyance comes from a disrespectful way and just a lack of awareness.
Yeah.
But let's continue to unpack it. We post it. It has about over 100,000 views now
already. I think we post out Thursday, and this is technically it's 3 days later. Yeah.
And we've had we had small school blow up, and that was funny and it was lit. But this is more of a controversial topic. So the comments are a bit different.
Wow. They're coming for us.
They're coming for us. Y'all are rude. That's the best thing. Y'all are rude. And I feel like the men who coming for us are the same men who annoyed me in the club. I'm going to say it straight up, because, okay, I truly understand that women may have, come for men in a way that was maybe, okay, they just touch you to kind of try to get a dance with you, and you humiliate them, or you really make it seem bigger than what it is, and I hear that. But I feel like the men who have been coming for us are the men who feel entitled to touch women in a way that's not respectful, and now they're mad because women want to be approached respectfully, but they don't know how to do it, so they're gonna get mad at you for trying to say what you want, and then they're gonna tell you that you don't know what you want, but they don't know how to give what you want because they're disrespectful. And by the way they comment, they're disrespectful.
They are. A lot of them are. I think I look at it in the sense of I do get the confusion.
Yeah.
But I think the confusion comes from the point where it's we're reaching to the point now where a lot of women are speaking up. It was a couple years ago, women have used to speak up about it, and what they don't like. And to some men, they're confused, but at the same time, I like to use this word that women are not a monolithic, meaning we are a collective, but we don't speak for each other.
No.
So the women that they're saying they don't want men to pull up on them on the club, they don't speak for me, they don't speak for Jody. And when we say we want people to pull up on us, we're not speaking for them either. No. And I think they're confused in the sense of women don't know what they want, but all women know what they want, but we're not all the same.
We don't all want the same thing either.
We don't speak for each other a lot of the time, and I think that's what they need to understand. But when we say things like men, and a lot of men will be yeah, but that's not me, it's the same thing. Yeah. We're not speaking about you specifically. We're speaking about the men that are that way.
Exactly.
So stop taking so much offense all the time when people speak up on things like that, because that's the same thing in this situation.
And honestly, if you see a video on your timeline and they're talking about somebody who is a plumber, you're not really going to pay no mind to the video because you're not a plumber. But if you feel like they're talking about your profession, then you paying mind to the video because you're checking they're talking about you now. I get that certain things could maybe trigger you in a sense oh, this could be me or whatever. But if it's really not you, continue, go about your business in a sense.
True.
I feel like there are guys who pull up on girls in the club. Guys have pulled up on me, but for one, we were talking about a soca party.
Yeah,
that's one thing we need to say. Because that's one disclaimer that needs to be made. We were talking about a soca party.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but soca is... the pull up is different.
Yeah.
Because for one, if you're in an R&B party, you know, if you're in a hip hop party, it's a different vibe. Soca, you come into pelt waist.
Yeah.
I am not coming here to stand up and have you stare at my waist. You know, and it's just a level of like, I feel like that context is very needed because this whole Me Too movement thing, I get it. I get a lot of people have spoken out about stuff, but I feel like to a level, you could read a room. And I give eyes. When I'm in a club, I'm going to do a little...
I do watch that.
But if you now using that as a anchor just because you're afraid of rejection, it's just levels of like, I feel like a lot of men was deflecting on certain things. And I'm not saying this to say I don't understand that, you know, being filmed getting rejected is messed up. But it's just that level of like...
But it's that way. We still need to unpack a certain amount of things. I think we really need to... We should clip this part in explaining that we are Caribbean people. We're not Caribbeans with the S. Are you born somewhere else and your parents maybe was Caribbean. But we Caribbean people. We grew up in the Caribbean.
Born, bred.
We go to soca parties. That's a whole different vibe.
It is.
Than being in Europe, being in America, wherever. Whereas like when we go to parties, a lot of the times with the intention when soca music come on a dance hall. But even dance hall, it's too whole wine.
You know, somebody told me that grinding is dying because of amapiano and house. I'm sorry, but your demographic may be doing amapiano and house, but whining will never die.
No.
Like, you know me and a man who could dance.
Exactly.
That is almost non-negotiable. So it's just that level of like, we come from a culture where that is what we do. And I feel like you shouldn't, I don't know, feel like, oh, now we need to take it away because a whole bunch of men just sitting on the bench.
No, I get it. But then at the same time, I do get like, if I go to funny enough, when I went to the Afro and brunch thing, like Bloody Samaritan was playing and this man came up to me, he's like, if you want dance. And I was just like, but how are we going to dance to this?
Facts. I had a man joke me to amapiano. That was wild. It was like a song and he was just joking me. And I was like,
how you was feeling?
I will continue to joke and flick my neck at the same time so I could understand the rhythm. But it's a bit weird. Exactly. Like, it didn't last long.
So, we're not talking about these kind of spaces at all.
No.
But... I think we would talk about this in the episode with Mando, where like girls that do embarrass man when they come to approach to a girl and then they post on my IG.
And I don't agree with that.
And I think now that I said, at the end of the day, I do get a lot of men confused and traumatized and they don't know what to do. But I was really thinking about it and I talk about it with my brother. At the same time, if we're going to live in a world where men just not approaching no more, like if we're going to have to choose one end of the spectrum, I guess we're going to just have to accept this level of like, because if you can't find the balance and understand the nuance in the conversation, I guess we can just have to accept that you're just not pulling up on us.
And are you in your soft man era, as somebody sent in the comments?
Exactly. I guess so. Because if I have to choose, but if I have to go back to what it was, Jody. But for me, it's just sad. I was locked up for 9 years and I finally outside. And you telling me nobody just pull up on you?
And
like, I never experienced it to the level. Like, when I used to go out, I wanted to dance. But I was I keep saying locked up.
We was locked up,
I was in a relationship. I'm talking about COVID.
Oh, you were locked up, locked up. Nah, it's
so now that I outside, it's like, wow. This is what, like, I never experienced it to the level where...
No. And I feel like for the guys there who genuine, well, you know what it is. I guess the man them gonna pull up the genuine man them. I don't know. This is my take on it now. I thinking out loud. So I creating as I go. I feel like the man them who's scared to get rejected in these soca parties, are you stay there? Are you go there to show your new fit, whatever, buy drinks, stare at girl? I feel like the man them who I like full on will... I almost said a bad word. The guys who I will engage with are the guys who I probably will meet outside of those parties because they're going to pull up on me different.
Exactly.
And I could accept that. Truly, I could accept that. Because just like what you say, if I had to choose back then over now, I would choose now every day.
Yeah.
Because getting touched disrespectfully, is really not it. And I guess us not getting touched at all, we just gotta deal with that. Because man, them don't know how to find a balance.
And
not
all. I mean. Yeah, so at the end of the day, like, if you really just rather just not approach, okay, cool. I'm gonna really accept
on the
it.
bench.
Basically, some of the comments was just like, they didn't say we gotta get a man, but it's looking like we gotta get a man. Because some people were just like,
somebody said I'm gonna bring the sand to the beach. Well, I gonna look for my sand then.
Exactly. But some of them was really like, but some of us in relationships too. And I get that. But not everybody there in the club in relationships.
Sorry, but then
you know what I mean?
Are you with your girl? So I ain't focused on you.
But some of them don't be there with the girl.
Oh.
You don't go out all the time with your significant other. But
then just don't comment. Keep scrolling. This ain't for you.
Exactly.
Like this honestly is not for you. This is not for taking men.
Yeah.
If you comment, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that's case closed there. But are you stop being mean now? Like,
yeah, I don't.
It wasn't nice.
But it's so funny, it's so ironic. 2 weeks ago, somebody asked me, "Are you ever had a situation when people was commenting bad?" I was like, "Not really." And I was like,
that
2
didn't
weeks
age
later,
well.
I was like, that conversation did not age well. But I really tune it out.
Yeah,
got accustomed to it
because it's just the beginning. Like, I feel like we're gonna say a lot of stuff that's wild on this. I just saying for people who listening, if you feel like you somebody who say something mess up, just really think about it. Like, you don't have to get your point across by being a twat. Like, it doesn't. Wow, I was being a twat. You see, I calling you a twat. That's me being a twat in a sense. Where it's like, you mad, so now you want to make another person mad. Yeah. You could literally just get your point across by just saying what you need to say without using bitches and just degrading terms.
Yeah.
Point.
But yeah, it's very interesting. I also would like to see what's the demographic of the people that are commenting. I do think it's an American demographic.
It's a lot of Americans.
And America scene is very different.
And I'm not going to speak on it because I'm going to be a bigger twat if I do.
Like the scene, I just going to say the scene over there is very different than the scene where we from in the Caribbean. True. The environments we just be in is just very different. So I think also that's something to keep in consideration when you're watching a podcast with girls with accents that we really not in our youth spaces. No,
like understand it's a different accent, it's a different culture.
Yeah.
And don't be ignorant to it.
But a lot of them was also saying that, like, because of, and I had find that interesting because I had never known that men really think that because of like the Me Too and the allegations that they just prefer to like
not do anything.
And
that's what gets me, where it's like, do you feel, because in my head I was thinking, if you know you're not on that, like, then why would that bother you?
Exactly.
But in my head, it's like, okay, there's levels to it. Because you could probably know you're not on that, but a girl could really ruin your life. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if you know you're not on that, you're like...
But that's why I say it's so confusing. But that's what kind of energy you pulling up with that person would think that you...
Because when we say pull up on me, it's a level of like... Pull me. No, don't push me
drop
over.
Me down and like...
But be like, just dance in front of me, a little bit, and then we talk with our eyes because we do that before.
Exactly, but also that I said like the man that coming to I'm a piano part. He literally comes and like, can we dance? Like, what happened to just asking a question?
Consent. Everybody talking about consent in the comments. Ask to dance.
A question.
Like, in those movies where they at prom. Yeah. Can I dance?
But I guess sometimes you mid walk up. And the man ain't want to stop you to be like,
no,
can I come and dance?
But we have unspoken Caribbean language. I will continue to walk up. I won't walk up anymore. Or I'll walk up away. Yeah. Like we know that. The dynamic. But also with like pulling up respectfully. Mm-hmm. There's a way to be creepy and a way to be just normal.
Don't overdoing it.
And I think when I mention, especially men pulling up disrespectfully, is when you say no, but they still trying. That's a big thing. And if you talking about Me Too, maybe you too be doing that. Whereas like a girl saying no and you don't know what no mean. And it comes to dancing and it comes to everything. And that's when girls put you on blast. I think a lot of men don't realize the level of entitlement that they usually carry in interactions with women sometimes, especially in the club. Like, you don't have random access to my body. However, it's just a level of like the way in which you pull up. We're going to find out if you're going to get access. Yeah. That may sound a bit wild, but in a soca party, it makes sense.
Yeah, in a I guess.
Disclaimer, soca party.
Maybe we got to be mindful of how we clipping these things to understand that we're talking about soca. Maybe then they still even won't get it. But I was thinking about it deeply. Yeah. Because a lot of men say, as a woman too, you could also just approach man and start dancing with them. And I was like, if we had lived in a world where like we also just always used to come to man and to dance, you think you could face the level of rejection that they just face all the time?
Plus, I ain't gonna see that as a man who could lead me. Point.
But no, I mean like asking you.
No.
Like if you had to go up to man and they just keep rejecting you, think you'd be able to. So that's why I'm not trying to be on their side.
Like quite self-esteem, I feel men are stronger in terms of like that would hurt my.
Yeah. No, I think we have it would really get to us, that level of rejection. So that's why I was like, I get the confusion. Like, there's a lot of things to unpack in the sense of like, I get the confusion. I could understand because we've been going to parties since we 12, 13, start going high school. I could understand after a decade of rejection. You checking like, until I very certain this person want dance, I'm going to come and dance, or some man just checking like I tapping out, and I could get that to a level because I'm not gonna lie, I think after I would probably be like, I just here for myself too.
I completely understand that because I feel like for us we also, because in my head I was like, wow, I was contradicting myself because they had a video that went out a couple weeks before that about me saying I don't go to the club for man, I just go into vibe, and then I say about man pull up on me. In my head I was like, ooh, but isn't that a little contradictory?
No, because once again we just mostly go to Afro and Amapiano parties.
So disclaimer, is a soca party.
You was really being specific to the kind of party we're talking about. And like we sit on that episode too. We've been to Notting Hill Carnival and stuff, and like when I go to those kind of
y'all,
spaces,
man, take this wine.
We not talking about those places, they just pull up.
They just pull up.
They just throw you up in the air.
But stop everything. And it's vibes because they in the culture, they know the culture, they're there for vibes, and they just take a wine and dip. And it is a soca thing because for one, the fact that it's a soca party, that whole women should pull up on man don't apply because I whining. You come to the wine. I not gonna whine back to you.
Exactly.
Maybe a little bit, but not too much.
No, you see?
Yeah.
It was so funny. Like I remember bending over. I could only see the man's shoes. To this day, I don't know how this man looked. And then I remember the shoe shop out to another person. And I was like, oh, another person there. Okay, cool. Like, and I was
chill. No problem.
To this day, I don't know. They could pass me straight on this. I would not know who them two
because it's just an experience.
Exactly.
It's an exchange of waste. And I think that's beautiful.
Exactly.
But ain't no waste really getting exchanged anymore. So we just want to sum this up by saying, guys, exchange the waste.
in
soca parties.
Okay. Specifically.
Don't be afraid. It's okay.
But yeah, but speaking of allegations
and
men being entitled.
Tell them. Let's hear it, Hadie.
I guess trigger warning if we're going to specifically mention certain things.
I think this whole episode is a trigger warning.
True.
Me Too movement, everything. So guys, bear with us. This
might be a trigger warning.
This is gonna be heavy
episode. But Diddy, allegedly, according to Kristen. But you know what's it's not funny. I read the court file of the Cassie thing. Yeah. I read the recent one.
I heard some of the things about the recent one.
Some, yeah, but I ain't looked into it yet. But the Cassie one, I've read it. Shout out to God Almighty. He sent it to me to read it. I don't want like it's wild.
Summarize the wildness.
I feel like people need to also look up the document because it's public record and read it. But just basically using the fact that she was signed to his label to put her in situations that she didn't want to be in aka just having sex with people she didn't want to have sex with. Abuse. A lot of abuse. People in his circle had to see what was going on, just not saying anything. And it was over a decade. And
he tried to blow up Kid Cudi.
He didn't try.
He blew up his car, but he tried to blow up Kid Cudi in the car.
Oh, I didn't know Kid Cudi was in the car. I just know.
His car blew up. But I think the target was if Kid Cudi was in his car.
If it's in the court document.
Oh.
They had a moment where, and this was like later on in the relationship where they finally kind of separate for a bit. And she started seeing Kid Cudi. And she tell him, I'm going to blow up his car. Oh. And literally, like, I think like the next couple of days, his car was blown up in his
parking lot, like
in
garage,
his driveway or whatever. And this man is next level, like.
Yeah.
But I really feel like he have a power. it's a thing of like having power over people. I think he have a really bad, and I guess that's a real extreme case of narcissism.
It is.
To
Because he like to
point
control.
he really like putting his power, like asserting his power, and making people feel less than and letting them know that he runs thing, but in a level that is very toxic, and abusive, and just downright.
Yeah, one of the things they mentioned in the new court documents was, I think Cassie went to record with Wale, and Wale was already like, y'all, you don't know if Diddy gonna show up. Be careful like how you look at her and whatnot. Because they was supposed to just send in the recordings. They wasn't supposed to record in person, but they still did it. And basically, Diddy found out and he showed up, and they held Wale out of the window. Yeah, basically like, trying to scare him, I guess, or whatever. And that's all I remember.
But I wouldn't like hesitate to believe it, because it even have situations, like she went into detail about very specific situations where like he would go to pull up on people and make her hold his guns.
Crazy.
And somebody tell me that like he known, like especially in New York, for just pulling up on people in the hood like that.
Yeah, no, but I was listening to, I think it was a video on YouTube about his dealings with Biggie, Tupac, and just him, Bad Boy Records, and then what was it, Death Row, and how a lot of things unfold there, and how he was always scot-free, but everybody else was kind of meeting their demise in a sense. And it goes to show how much power he have and how much control he likes to assert in a lot of situations. But yeah,
that's crazy. But I need to go look into the new one. And then I also made me think on like how the past few years he been known for being with Young Miami.
Oh
yeah, and like I don't know, I remember when the whole situation come out, I was really just like, I don't know if this is a dynamic that I would put myself in. But then I was also like, maybe if she love it, I love it. Like if she really okay with, because it was very known that it wasn't in a relationship, but it was just, I guess, enjoying each other's time.
Sorry, because you don't know what these people doing behind closed doors. But honestly,
a lot of things resurfacing right now of all kind of things. We like really guarding this.
Yeah,
but like a lot of interviews that she's done, where she just plain out say, I still interview where she was literally like, I'm a whore, and the person was like, huh? Like, what do you mean, Clara? She was like, I'm a whore.
But ain't she like let him piss on her and stuff?
I mean, some people let people piss on them. But to me, it's not the acts that you do.
No, as in she was very open about all the stuff they would do.
Yeah, but I never judge people based on what they're doing. I guess she mean when she called herself a whore, it's like, it's not just him she doing these stuff with. Because if he very much well known for having women engaged with other people, like, I guess that's what she mean when she called herself.
Yeah.
That.
I hear it.
I don't know. I feel like if you're doing that in your relationship, that's fine. But I didn't really need to know. But if pissing?
The pissing thing, no. For me, I wasn't like correlating the pissing thing with the whole thing. I would just say she's very open about her and but she mean in general, like she's just a whore.
She said that to Santana, I think, or no, Joe. Who's that one that always like to be interviewed by Rihanna?
What?
They have this interviewer that loved to be interviewed by. He loved Rihanna. He obsessed with Rihanna. I can't remember his name, but she was having an interview by him, and she was just literally calling herself down. I think it all makes sense now. And then they have a tweet that resurfaced with her. I remember I think it was 2 years ago, 2022. She had a problem with some girl, and the girl was saying that the girl come out and kind of say that she had like sexual relationships with her, and it was kind of like denying it. And then Young Miami say, if that was true, Diddy would have made you get on your knees and do what you have to do. That's a tweet. She tweeted that in 2022, and it resurfaced last week sometime. And it's like, that didn't age well.
Yeah, no, it didn't. But wait, what's happening to him now? Because he left his kids to get searched by the FBI.
Oh, yeah. But I see he was just right there in Miami this past weekend, riding bikes with, I forget his name.
But it's crazy because he just dip out. They say he went to a Caribbean island or whatever, and then he just pulled back up.
But his plane was in St. Croix? I can't remember one of them places, but he wasn't on the plane, but his plane was there. But I think he put his plane there because then the government can't search.
He know what
the
he doing.
plane.
He know what he doing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then they say St. Martin and St. Bart's also in the court documents because he's been to St. Bart's and St. Martin before.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Where you
I remember we forget to do the would you rathers, and I had a wild would you rather that shouldn't even be.
To do the
No, but it shouldn't even be a would you rather. Like, I feel like if I say this, I'm gonna get cancelled.
You want to do him now randomly or at the end?
Would you rather like
Wait, what?
chill in a jail cell with R. Kelly or chill in a jail cell with P. Diddy? But they're separated from you. You just get to have a conversation with them.
I think I'd rather R. Kelly. Because R. Kelly like little girls. I'm a grown.
P. Diddy like everybody.
And P. Diddy like everybody.
Everybody.
But also like I don't know. I wasn't in tune with the R. Kelly thing, but I watched the documentaries with the girls that come out and admit. And he had them doing some wild stuff too. But for some reason, I just less scared of R. Kelly than a
me too now. I'm proper less scared of R. Kelly. Maybe because he wasn't out here killing people.
But also in a jail cell. Is he allowed to touch me?
No, there's a wall between you. I can't make it that wild. There's bars. So you just get to sit and talk to them.
And I'd rather hear R. Kelly sing than P. Diddy.
I hear it. I fully hear it.
Oh.
I fully hear it. That's wild.
We could just be in there like when your backs against the wall.
Yeah. That
Singing,
makes sense
right?
though.
Yes.
Okay, now let me do the other would you rather that we forget you during the beginning. Would you rather get all your messages exposed or all your photos exposed?
Messages.
Photos.
For real?
Mainly because I have like 33,000 pictures in my phone. So are you gonna really have to go through a lot of photos?
But people, the internet going to go through it. If like, okay, but what level we on right now or like in the future when we like known?
Newsflash, we known.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, gewoon now. Bye, but
even you recently
but even in your messages, if you send
memories,
a message and it's a photo, that is part of the message.
Yeah, but then it's not I haven't sent as many pictures as I
you have
in, my
in your
phone.
photo. Yeah.
And there's viewed ones now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Messages too.
But I don't know, like, what would come out that, like, I don't know.
Like,
I was talking about the situation.
About 5,000. Huh?
I was talking about the situation or something. Or, like, I don't know.
It includes group chat messages.
We was talking about you, okay? And
talk your shit.
Like,
now I'm gonna talk about you in my chest.
Ain't like I was planning on murder or whatever.
Nah,
I just talk about situations. And that was it. I rather that than going back to the whole thing of like, would you really want your body out there on the internet?
Yes, facts. I choose messages. Because in my head, my logic was, I got a lot of photos. Nobody's going to go through all of that. But people have time. People have time.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we slipped that in there.
Choose pictures. Because I also have pictures of people that would probably be like, why you have a picture of me in my phone? But that's because my phone is randomly screenshotting stuff. And then it's like,
I have it too though. I have a lot of random screenshots in my phone. Like, why is this here?
Or sometimes I just screenshot something because I like something or to show my friends something. And it's not like, it wasn't even bad intentions. Yeah. It's just,
And like 3 years ago, I said I was going to clear out my phone, but it's 3 years later.
I've tried. My email. Look at my email number. That was a couple of months ago already. So probably even worse. Now she was like, Hadie. I was like, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. My sister one was bad too. Sorry to put you on blast, Elisha.
What was bad?
Like up in the thousands.
You want to know? Guess how much emails I have in my Gmail that I ain't open?
4,822.
Okay, that's very nice of you.
Blood.
Yeah, we looking at that.
Now I want to look at mine.
I think I have. But the number not showing. That's how bad it is. The number not showing no more.
No, mine just says 99 plus.
Oh yeah, but before it used to be done here,
yeah,
and I know for sure it's like over 46K. Like
what?
Yeah,
like 5 digits.
But that's because I have so much promo and stuff.
Nah, that makes sense. I ain't gonna lie. I am a avid unsubscriber. Like I can't stand promos. I unsubscribe like her like. Once they come in, I'm like, I don't subscribe to you. I unsubscribe.
Maybe I should do that more often.
Y'all, it helps. It declutters your life. Yeah.
True. But I was thinking on the whole R. Kelly situation.
Yeah.
You watch Nickelodeon.
Drake. Not Drake.
Yeah.
But Drake from Drake and Josh. I just want to say I am so sorry.
Yeah.
And I just want everybody to realize you really don't know what people are going through. Because I used to watch Drake and Josh with a big smile on my face, enjoying life while he was dealing.
But pause. The right pause. If you don't know what's going on with Nickelodeon, basically they have a documentary that came out, Quiet on Set, where a lot of the child actors from back then come out and speak up about how the set was back then. And some of them was, I guess, a little oblivious to what was going on, but some of them definitely picked up on the vibes.
Or they were victims to it.
Or they were victims to it. And the main topic was about Dan Schneider, who was like the producer and creator of a lot of the shows that we had loved growing up. And then it went into the actual, and this is why we said this whole episode is kind of a trigger warning, the sexual abuse that specific people face on set or they had to deal with because of being on set. And one of those people that came out was Drake from Drake and Josh.
But let me take it from the beginning too, because basically they kind of started off with, they have the writers for All That. It's All That though.
The two women you talking about.
Yeah. And one of the things one of the interviewees or whatever was saying was he didn't even respect the women in the company. How do you expect him to respect little girls?
Yeah.
And that hit hard because you had that a lot where, especially back then, women wasn't seen as, they made two writers split the same paycheck.
That is insane.
That is really insane. And he made Christy bend over and place herself on a table while she told a story because he thought it would be funny. Or he would send them texts to scream out random stuff like, I'm a slut. And it's just that level of like a working environment like that. And it's a working environment based around kids. It's so crazy to hear these things and really see what went on behind. Hollywood is wild.
I feel like this year, we start out the year by saying when Cat Williams come out and say stuff, we believe him because a lot of stuff coming out with Hollywood.
And you know what's crazy? You don't believe it because you think, a lot of people say conspiracy theorists are like crazy because the theories sound so crazy. But it's so crazy to actually realize that a lot of theories are true. And it started to desensitize us on a different level now because we're getting more into a place of like, there's now an even higher level of just wildness that happens. But yeah, so then they continue to like the whole they talked about the Amanda show.
Yeah, Amanda Bynes. And I was looking up at
that show
I had used to, but the thing is I was such a Nickelodeon head, but I don't know what it was. As a child, I felt a very dark cloud on Nickelodeon and I just switched over to Disney. I don't know what happened. I don't know if that was my body speaking to me. But I had to stop watching Nickelodeon for some reason. Disney Channel was popping that much, but popping way more. But then they said they're coming out with a Disney one soon.
Oh.
Stuff that was happening on set. But so it's like, I don't know either. I don't know if I was really right back then. But like I don't know. And Dan Snyder was basically, I would say, a sexist and a very sick individual to the point where like they even show specific scenes that he had them do that was very much linked to sexual acts. Like a lot of the times, if you look back, they would have like things squirting in
like
girls'
cum shot,
face,
kind
cum
of
shots,
the potato with Ariana
Grande, and just remember the boy that they had wear some kind of suit, but it was basically, you could tell it was just basically
the fetus.
The feet was a fetus, but you could tell he had literal balls and dicks on his suit as a child.
That was the one who sneezed. And
it was a nose.
Yes, it was noses.
I think
and that was really disturbing.
I think it was.
That was really disturbing.
But I also didn't know that they had, and they have certain things from Nickelodeon that they don't always see, that they had them do like basically like theirs.
The Fear Factor thing.
Fear Factor. Yeah. Why they had little children like...
That is traumatizing. Because they made dogs lick peanut butter off of a little boy.
That is short. Like, you shouldn't have kids doing that. What is wrong with you? Yeah, no. And then the abuse to a level they faced, just being the favorites of Dan Schneider. Because what a lot of them mention is like, if you wasn't in his good books, you would know it.
Yeah.
If you wasn't a favorite, he pushed out the I forgot her name, but who Amanda Bynes basically replaced. Because she was gonna have her own show, and he painted this whole dream for her. And as soon as she got fat and went through puberty, he was like, nah, we don't want you no more. And even when he spoke to his writers saying, oh, can I just call you girls? Because I can't be asked to like actually call you by your name. And they were like, okay with it. And he was like, oh, thank God. I thought you were going to be, one of those girls.
Kind of women.
Oh, you know how triggering that is, especially listening to it.
And I was like, what, 90s?
Yeah.
And that's why when we started the whole conversation today, I was like, women are actually starting to speak up now. Understand that. It's confusing, but it's been years and decades of stuff happening that people were just quiet about.
Yeah.
And I think people just don't know how to navigate this new kind of space of so much truth.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't know where, just like with the amount of information we receive every day, you don't know how to digest the different things people experience, especially in a case of like with men and women on that different spectrum. Because I feel like as women, say we go through a bunch of different things and you explain to me different things you went through and I explain to you different things I went through, we could better comprehend each other because even though it's maybe different experiences, we have that level of like, okay, I could understand it. But when it comes with men and women, a lot of the things that men go through is based off of women, and a lot of things that women go through is based off of men. So people just refrain from actually listening because it's triggering. But I feel like in order to navigate this, we just need to have radical honesty.
Yeah.
Nicely.
But also just G-check yourself a lot of the times. I think we all have thoughts sometimes that I don't think we all have the best thoughts in
the red button. Hadie and I have a red button, guys. It's our self-destruct. When we know we're going to do something wild.
We sent a time that I sent her literally the red thing, like I probably about to self-destruct.
Yeah.
But I think you need to have those moments with yourself of realizing like what I'm about to do or whatever I'm thinking right now might be not it. And I need to realize that. But I don't know. Going back to these whole things, I realize a lot of people just don't have that. No kind of...
like 50% of people, or was it 50? They had a statistic where they said up to 50% of people don't have inner dialogue. Was it 50?
What do you mean? Like, so they don't
like they don't, you know how we talk to ourselves in our head? There's a lot of people out here like NPCs.
So they just like...
They just take in whatever comes to them. I need to Google this. I'm telling you. Wait, maybe I saw it on TikTok, so I don't know how credible that is.
Sometimes I read this thing a long time ago where it's like people always have thoughts in their mind. So sometimes when I see somebody in deep thought, I used to be like, okay, what are you thinking about? And they'll be like, nothing. I'll be like, but that's impossible. So you're telling me it's possible?
You ready? About 30 to 50% of people regularly think to themselves in internal monologues. Inner monologues have a function in language development and in information and memory processing. So basically, you literally just having a whole conversation with yourself in a sense. A lot of people don't have that.
So the brain is empty. Like, okay, let's stay quiet.
No, nobody. Oh.
What, like?
I'm thinking of the pillow now.
So but that's their brain, that quietness.
Yeah. It would be funny if Kristen put like crickets on the background. Like, but I think they think of stuff, but what they see. And I think that's why the percentage may be, like, y'all correct us on this if anybody knows, but I think that's why the percentage could be so high because, like, I could be on my phone distracted and I don't need to think. I'm being fed. I'm consuming.
Yeah, but when you're just walking on the street on your way to work or whatever.
I'm listening to music. Or I'm listening to something. Okay, or when I go and sleep.
Okay, but let's say this was before the days of technology and the percentages was still this high.
I feel like the percentage probably was lower. Different. Yeah, because you know how many people like go to sleep with stuff playing in the background. And I know a lot of people do that, but I think some people without an inner monologue do that so that, I don't know.
But I have a lot in a monologue. I don't need something playing, but I need a fan noise.
Yeah, you need white noise or brown noise or purple noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I played brown noise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so wait, when I mentioned that, what were we talking about?
You were saying that like people that don't have inner monologue need to hear something in the background to go to sleep.
Oh, yeah, no, but we were talking about that level of like G-checking yourself.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I feel like if you don't have a self inside to check, there is no G. In a sense of like, a lot of people don't realize that they need to speak to themselves rather than continue to project.
But then that's very scary.
It is. That's why when I heard the fact, I was like, that can't be real. Like, it's, I'm going to deep dive into it.
But then I think even, okay, let's say going back to the whole Nickelodeon thing. So basically they had not only Dan Schneider, but it was people on the set that also just literally sexually abused and
James Handy and Brian Peck. I don't say the names.
Say the names again?
Because they wild. James Handy and Brian Peck.
Yes.
Y'all are going to hell.
That basically sexually abused these, because it was girls and boys on set. And a lot of the time, because I don't know, for some reason I tell you I start watching back Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
And also I watched this documentary. It's like a 5-episode documentary of some of the biggest homicides in New York that get solved. And a lot of these people, like, I do think they'd be talking to themselves, like serial killers and stuff like that. But they
but they're geniuses.
Yeah, but they do be having in a monologue, and a lot of times they do be knowing what's going on inside of their head. So maybe even like abusers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a level of like really just thinking, like, I guess letting yourself self-destruct. Really,
yeah.
But on a very horrible scale.
Yeah. And side note, when I say serial killers are geniuses, y'all don't come for me. They really are. Like, as in, if you really study,
to pull that stuff off,
exactly, the minds.
Level of, like,
yeah, I ain't like I check in like let me disclaim that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I understand what you mean. I feel like these people just they accept it and they continue it, you know? Where it's like the guy, they found his journal and he said straight up, James Handy, I think. He said straight up, I'm a pedophile.
Yeah.
And I will SA somebody if I have to.
Exactly.
You know how wild that is.
Exactly. And that's why I think it's going back to the whole like psychology of your brain, how we have the amygdala.
Yeah.
And some people just let like whatever comes out into them.
Yeah.
Like they let it act out without like having that moment of actually checking their thoughts. And that's why I say we all have thoughts, but having that, I guess, in a
lack
voice,
of impulse. Like they just act on impulse. They see a donut, they grab it, they eat it.
But also, I guess we don't all have those kind of urges. So
no, Hadie, we don't.
No, but I mean, like, because I say everybody have thoughts, but no, we don't have those kind of thoughts. So then it's like, if you having those kind of thoughts, then that's just another level of.
And I feel like we talking about Hollywood again, and I feel like Hollywood is a melting pot of like social. What you call that? Like they need to study them because there's so much that goes on in Hollywood that everybody is exposed to. So it's easier to have that creation of these kind of people because it's such a norm in a sense, or they are so exposed to it where now they could see this and they think, oh, whoa, people are doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like we get so influenced by American media and stuff like that, and for us it's wild, but for them they could be living a completely different life where they see it from a different perspective. I think they still see it as wild, but they don't see it as wild as we see it.
But I think some people also just look at it as like, that's a way to do it. I don't mind. And I think it goes on to everybody have different morals and values. That I said I said this word a lot, because like going to I forgot her name in the UK,
Thanos.
Tumelo.
I'm sorry if I butcher your name.
But Thanos from Thanos from South. I don't know what you call.
She from Bristol.
Yes.
South London.
Yes. Because that whole if you don't know what that is, go look up
Guys, Malachi from South London. Let me explain y'all the story real quick. Because this girl, you watched the interview, right?
I did. But the thing is, I had basically watched a lot of the clips on TikTok, so I had seen so much. I had missed
great, because I did it. So you could tell, I watched the interview, but basically, you have Tumelo.
Yeah.
Tumelo sound nice though. Tumelo. And she was dealing with this guy named Malachi. And what happened was she wanted Malachi's friend, but Malachi went and tell his friends that he had sex with her. So she got upset and she went on TikTok to call out Malachi, saying, don't be telling people you nyam my bum when for one, you ain't even nyam it good. And don't be telling people you had sex with me when all you did was nyam my bum and you didn't nyam it good. And something. So you had the interviewer.
Yeah.
What was her name again? I'm sorry.
So see, she was right.
Well,
it was her interview.
Her podcast was off the record.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it went viral because basically Tumelo basically started coming for the interviewer because the interviewer was coming with an energy of like being condescending.
Yes, I'm
in
here
her
to
question.
shame you.
And I think I watched the entire video. Basically, the interviewer asked her, "What do you do for a living?" And she started laughing.
Yeah.
And then I guess it hint to sex work or being a prostitute. And then she starts saying she does do stuff in return for money. And then the interviewer was like, so basically you're a
part-time prostitute.
Yeah. And I just find like the whole energy she was giving her, and it's so weird because she in the interview somewhere else, she was like, in the UK people could be a bit prudish when it comes to all of this. So, and the girl was comparing herself to Cardi B in the sense of like Cardi B come up from being a stripper and now she's a big rapper, and it's not that big of a deal to come from there if you have an end goal of knowing where you want to go. And she was basically trying to ask if you see that being possible in the UK, where like there's not much space for people having respect for women that do that kind of work and then giving them the opportunity to become something bigger. And I think at certain points she was just genuinely asking the questions that some people would want to know, or she was probably wanting to know.
She was asking them in a way that was like
it was very condescending. But I was really trying to think like, how different could she have done the interview though?
It's her tone. She could have done it without the tone. It was the tone. The beginning where she said, "I'm much older than you." That set the tone.
No, you're such a baby.
Oh, that set the tone. That set the tone.
She
knew from the beginning what she was doing. And that's the thing where I understand what you mean, because it's a bit of a while. This girl is 18 and she out here doing a bit of some wild stuff.
But then don't invite her to do an interview if you not genuinely care. If you don't genuinely care about her well-being or want her to,
because that was an opportunity for you to guide her and not shame her.
But then that's what I mean with like, I don't know if we need to be guiding people, because we bring this up in the sense of like, some people look at things and they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what their end goal is. They just don't mind doing it that way. We just have different morals and values. But as if she find it perfectly fine to get Malachi to perform analingus, apparently. Basically for money. And I feel like a lot of people was also in the comments where it's like, this girl is actually very intelligent.
She is.
She just have different sets of morals and values. Because she was also basically saying like, if I know a man want me and want this sexual act, I'm going to charge him too. I'm going to use him and charge him. And a lot of women have. I don't think that way. But at the same time, it's like, and this is why going back to for Daniela Brady, when she was like, if you could have do any kind of job in the world and didn't have to think about moral values, other that, what would you do? I was like, scamming. Like if I had if I wasn't brought up well, I get it. Like some people and I think we out here, because we look at the world so differently based off of how we grow up and think, we don't have it in ourselves. Like I think we would have a hard time going to sleep, a hard time being okay with ourselves living that way.
Yeah, for sure.
But some people sleeping peacefully,
like a baby. They probably sleeping better than us,
living that way.
It's true.
I think we all think in a certain level, and I think that interviewer had her way of looking at her situation, and she probably thinks she's not prudish, and she probably thinks she's not condescending, but it was very evident that in the question she was asking, that she basically wants the girl to have better for herself. But we can't tell people what's better for themselves. I feel like I can't. If you find that's a good way of living and you perfectly fine, I'm not going to come and tell you I want to guide you into a better direction.
I hear it.
I'm going to just want to hear your story and be like, okay, cool. I wouldn't do it that way. But like,
do you? I could never.
Do you?
Yeah, it's facts.
And that why to me is like, I wouldn't bring any guests here if I'm not genuinely interested in like hearing their story.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want to like condescend them and make them feel like however they go about things is, I don't know. Of course, it would be different sometimes on how I would, but like it's because I'm genuinely interested in how you do, and I kind of feel like we have so many different people out here in the world, and it comes from a place of just trying to hear people out and see how different people is.
True.
That's where it would come from me, just being intrigued.
And I think it's the same thing with like this whole conversation from the beginning when we talk about how people commenting on the videos to just how people see things differently, probably in the States. It's just that level of like substituting judgment with curiosity.
Yeah.
I think if the interviewer substituted her judgment with curiosity, that interview would have gone a completely different route. And I think if a lot of people in general substitute their judgment with curiosity, we could actually have a conversation where you don't have this whole preconceived like idea of who I am, what I'm going to say, what I do, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's just less animosity. Because that whole interview, but the girl was funny.
But what was the question where it went really left?
Do you have shame?
Do you have shame?
And then, so let me reenact it.
Okay, who I wouldn't be. Well, what she had just said.
So after saying what you do in life, do you feel like you have any shame?
Do you have shame? No. Say no.
You go through. You was already in.
I'm Tumelo.
You in character.
Okay. Do you have shame?
What do you mean by that?
Do you have shame?
Of course.
Because I would think that like, the men that you ever dated, like,
you don't know the men I dated.
Yeah, but they know what you did with them.
But that's between me and them.
Yeah, but they couldn't go outside and tell different people like what you've done. But
they won't know it's me.
And
then she had to say, oh, but they could go on TikTok and do a story time and then they'll say your name. And then she was like,
I forget what she said.
You probably was also 18 and fuck out behind the bins.
She was like, oh yeah.
And then
she was like, yeah, but like, I'm sure that when you was 18, you was there getting behind the bins.
Sorry, guys, I cursed. And then the interview was like,
I need to
gather myself. And then she was like, you just mad because I have youth. Oh, yeah. You're just jealous because I have youth. Aren't you 48?
Yeah. And she was like, well, I look good for being 48. You do. And then she gets up and walks away. She was like, okay, good ass.
It's the Tumelo show. And she watched the camera. She's like, somebody gonna get her. And then when she come back, she was like, I love your dress.
Yes.
And then she was like, yeah.
It's for something. It's for my generation.
Yeah. She was like, it's giving senior. Oh, that's the thing. The interviewer thought she could dish it, but Tumelo was ready to dish it back. And she was so quick with her thinking. Like when the interviewer was talking about the story time, so Tumelo basically does a lot of story times on TikTok, and she did one with Kai Sanat, but it wasn't true because she wanted to get Kai Sanat to respond to her, which is a smart move.
Exactly.
And then the interview was like, so basically all your stories are lies. And she's like, if you fail one test, so basically you're a dumb bitch.
If you pass all your tests
and you fail one, you're a dumb bitch. I was like, this girl is intelligent.
She's intelligent. And that's why I tell you, like, I just think it boils down to your environment, how you grew up, your morals and values. And you could do it that way, sweetie. I'm rooting for you.
Like, how you choose to live life, live your life. As long as you ain't really harming yourself and other people out here.
I would have just wanted to pick apart her brain and be like, okay, but why you think that way? And and not from a place of like
judgment, but a place of like, I am truly curious. And that's the thing. I feel like with the whole social construct of everything, you just have a judgment for different things that people do, and it's just that level of like, but they told you blue is blue because they said it's blue, but it doesn't mean that you have to believe it's blue in a sense where it's like she could be out here selling her poem. It's honestly, it could be fine, but we have this whole idea around it, and it's a bit wild, but it's wild because we're supposed to think it's wild.
Yeah. Or that, no, well, why are we supposed to? That's
because of how we grow up.
Exactly. And I think we are, in general, if you come from, especially Black environments, could be very prudish in general, especially like Christianity. And
I remember I used to like, so when I would go out, and this is when I could actually go out, I would have a skirt, but it would be a little bit long and I would fold it a little bit. But before I leave the house, it's unfolded. So when my parents see me go out, they know, okay, there's a level of conservative here. As soon as I go out, mini skirt. So yeah, we grow up.
I get it. I have students that are like, they just come to school and do their makeup because they're not allowed to wear makeup. But I just wonder like, so you just go home quick and then try to wash off your face before your parents come up. Like, I don't know how you just do that. Like, or if they come pick you up randomly, how would you do that? I don't know. But it's like, you just do, there's so much different levels of, I don't know. Oh, I see this video. It's basically what I'm saying. Where this person was like, if a lot of children didn't grow up in strict households, they would be able to like be themselves more.
It's true.
And they wouldn't hide who they was from their parents if they was able to just be themselves all the time at home. And I just really think about that in the future. It's like, how would I navigate? Like, because there's boundaries and there's certain things you don't want your child to engage in. But it's like figuring out Like, how would you? It's hard, of course.
How would you navigate that with a child?
Yeah, because it's like I would want them to be
Why?
themselves and be able to come home and tell me things. Oh no, this is what it say. There was like children that had to like lie a lot at home. It was Madam Joyce. She was like, children had to lie a lot at home because of strict environments turn out to be like people that just lie a lot in life because they had to lie so much. Because she was telling a story of this girl that like they went out of time and the girl lie about it and tell her father she was going to work, and the father ran me to go and pick her up from work, but she wasn't there, so she went home and told her father that this guy forced her basically to come out, and and they wanted to go look up the guy. She's like, no, it's fine, and it's just like, do you know what kind of lying you have to do to kind of keep your parents out of your life? And I don't want that.
No, but I don't think you have that. I mean, we don't know how it will be with kids.
Yeah, like, you know, I don't want. It's hard because it's like you going back to this whole thing with like that interview and a child or having a child, for example. You might have your certain way of thinking how life should be and how you would environment you would want your child to be in. But if they want to go out and hang with children that like it's
doing
hard.
AI stuff in the future,
like they're going to lie about it.
Yeah, it's true. But I feel like if you create that space for your child to come to you, you could prevent that a little bit. Like, I don't know. In my household, I had a strict parent and then a not so strict parent, but still setting boundaries parent. And I feel like that dynamic helped me still be able to learn how to speak while also learn how to lie a little bit. But yeah, finding a balance in a sense.
I feel like I lie a lot.
Yeah, same.
But that's because both my parents was very strict. But then when I get older, my mother gonna listen to this. Sorry, mommy. But like when I get older, I start going out a lot with my best friend, and her mother was the chill one. So it's like I didn't really have to lie. It was just like, yeah, going out with.
Yeah.
Not in Maya today, but I didn't tell you where we going.
Exactly, just know we going out.
Exactly, but I would really want that dynamic though.
Nah, but I think you will have it, mainly because I find it really beautiful what you say, in the sense of like we talking about so many different people and some people doing wild things, and it's just that level of like everybody sees things differently, and what somebody's doing just because you view it a specific way doesn't mean it's wrong in a sense. And it's wild to say, but I feel like a lot of people could have more productive conversations if we actually proper think like that. Yeah. Like, don't go out here, kill somebody and talk to me about it. But if you choose to do certain things in your life and I may not fully understand it, I wouldn't mind having a conversation about it and really finding out, okay, what's your thought process for this and this and this, and like how did you get here, in a place of really genuine curiosity rather than just really judging.
Understanding people. Like, you don't have to agree. You don't. No. It's just about hearing people and understanding that like, we do all come from different walks of lives. Yeah. And it's just hearing this story and just add it to your file of another thing you learn about this world or a person, and then keep it pushing.
It's like if you're a right side person for the politics, go read a book on the left.
That's exactly.
You don't have to continue reading books on the right because it's just going to reinforce your echo chamber of what you think.
That's why I listen to certain podcasts. Like, I really start listening to one with men because I want to hear what they be saying. And the Receipts podcast, they just sometimes listen to like incels. Like, they just literally go and listen to incels talking because they want to hear what it's saying. Yeah. And I want to go listen to one of the podcasts that just be talking about to really see what he's man, especially the men on the toxic side of the spectrum, like, what they really saying.
It may be triggering, but it's good to hear.
Yeah,
it's true. Well, I hope all you take something from this conversation that we had. Like, I don't know, if there's conversations that you feel like you was triggered by, or conversations that you feel like you maybe was closed off to, maybe try have them and see where you could go from there. Because today I was talking to my friend and she was saying she feels like throwing herself in the lion's den helps her easier fight the lion. And
I mean, there's no other way.
There's no other way. Like, throw yourself in the lion's den. Find a way to fight the lion in a way that's like, you become friends at the end of it.
Exactly.
And I think it's really possible. I think it's really possible for us to just really have conversations. I feel like we show that. And yeah.
And the people that watch the clip, I hope they come and listen to the actual entire interview to see what the full spectrum of the conversation was.
And if you don't, to be honest, I feel like everybody gonna form their opinion at the end of the day. And that's all your prerogative. Keep doing you. If you got time to comment shit, enjoy. I'll be out here hugging trees. Yeah.
True.
So,
but yeah, that was it for today's episode, guys. First
Episode
of all, what's
31.
going on in the world?
oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And
Please.
thank y'all for 8,000 followers.
But maybe we should state this. If you've been on our page, we have a full YouTube channel where you could get entire conversation.
Honestly.
And listen to what we be saying.
Because we be going deep.
Exactly.
So pull up, please.
Pull up,
Thank
subscribe, like, share, and comment.
And we will catch you bi-weekly on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta do what a guy did in the video. 1, 2.